Hello and welcome to another speed build. This is a speed build of a home that I called Federal Villa, and I am back for the first time in a long time. I think my last speed build was in March. I got really busy with playoffs. I cover hockey for my full-time job, and yeah, I got wrapped up in playoffs, and then I just kind of got off track. Just, you know, general life, and I started to get lazy about recording my builds, and it just takes up a lot of space on the computer and takes a lot of time. And I play on a laptop, so my computer sometimes runs pretty slowly when I'm recording the game. So yeah, I kind of got out of the habit, but I was recently watching some speed builds on YouTube, which, I mean, I'm always watching speed builds on YouTube. I never stop that. Um, but I was watching some by this simmer called Hattie Sims, and I was really inspired by her builds, and I really liked the way she used roofs. I think a lot of speed builders in this game, they well, a lot of builders in general, people complain about the roofing in The Sims 4, and I myself find it pretty tricky to use. I've never been phenomenal at roofing, but yeah, I don't know, the roofs really like throw me for a loop in this game. So the thing about Hattie is she really embraces the roofing technique in the game, and she's really, really good at it. You should check out some of her builds. I linked to her below. I don't know her at all. I'm not like promoting her as some agreement or anything. I mean, I don't have a big YouTube channel in the first place, so who would want me to promote anything? But yeah, I just really liked her builds and I liked her creativity, and I just felt really inspired watching them. So I kind of got back into building a little bit. I'd been playing the game a lot more than I'd been building recently because I felt kind of stuck in a rut building. And that happens to me from time to time, and I just kind of play the game until I start to feel inspired to build again. And so I did, and this is the first build that I did. Really in a long time, and this is the first build that I've done that was inspired by Hattie and the way she builds homes. And so this is kind of the finished product, and this build has been up on the gallery for a while. I wasn't able to record this speed build right away because first my cousin had her baby that we had all been waiting for. He was 5 weeks early, so it was a bit of a surprise. He was due on Christmas Day and was born the Monday before Thanksgiving. Um, so that was a little surprising, but he's doing great. He's perfectly healthy. He's absolutely adorable. But you know, there was a little bit of unforeseen family events going on, and then I got sick and didn't really have a voice, didn't really have energy. But I put this build up on the gallery nearly right away, and it's actually been doing really well on there. So this speed build is maybe a little bit late, but I hope you enjoy it anyway, and I hope you guys enjoy this build. I'm actually really like decently proud of it. I'm the type of person who I'm a major perfectionist, so I always feel like I can do things better, and I'm never completely satisfied with builds, but I do actually really like the way this one turned out, and I am pretty satisfied with it, which is nice and exciting, and I'm glad, you know, there's, I think, like maybe 500 downloads of this on the gallery, so I'm glad that like other people have enjoyed this build as well. I wanted, originally when I made this, I wanted to kind of go for a semi-colonial style, just because a lot of the homes in my area are colonial style builds, and so that's what I tend to build a lot of. I live in New England, but it turned out to be very, I don't really know the term of it, but it just reminded me of like a build you would see somewhere in DC, or like, you know, like a wealthy like political family or something would live there. I don't know why it reminds me of like politics or whatever, but it does, so I called it Federal Villa. And I wanted to include that kind of like octagonal section, um, and I also wanted to include like a reading nook for some reason. I was really inspired by the idea of having like a window-filled reading nook. The one in this home didn't turn out at all the way I intended, was not what I was picturing, but I do like the way it turned out. It's part of an office on the first floor that's just really cozy and bright, and I think it would be fun to read a book in there. Um, but yeah, those were my two major inspirations in terms of architectural style with this build. Um, I spent a lot of time on the outside of this house, and that's something that I definitely gained from watching Hattie's videos. Her exteriors are absolutely amazing. Um, Even like if you check them out on the gallery, I'll include the link to her profile on the gallery. But even if you check them out there, they're really amazing. So, you know, I spent a lot more time on the exterior of this home, and I think it ended up showing, and I think maybe that's something that people kind of appreciated, and maybe that's why it was doing reasonably well for me, like in my terms. Obviously, like some of the more recognized builders, like this isn't like 500 downloads for them is nothing major, but for me it is. So um, I think maybe like kind of the extra time spent on the exterior of the home helped it do well on the gallery. I'm not sure. Who knows? I don't know why people choose specific houses and why they don't. But yeah, I mean that's my guess. But I do really like the way the exterior of this home turned out. Um, I It turned out to have like a kind of a small backyard, which I personally like. I like the idea of a cozy little backyard, mostly because it's easy to fill up the space, and I don't know, I mean, like when I build, I like to build smaller homes too, because I feel like it's a little bit more realistic. I very rarely build a bathroom that's bigger than 3 by 3, although the master bathroom in this home is bigger than that, but it's a very weird shape, and I'll get into that later when I get into the actual building of the master bathroom. When I did this build, I had just gotten Perfect Patio Pack, or whatever it's called, Perfect Patio Stuff maybe? I'm not sure, but I just got it because it was on sale. And my rule with The Sims is I don't buy anything from The Sims until it's on sale. Um, when I bought the base game, I have a Mac, I play on a Mac, so I mean, I had to wait anyway for the base game to come out. But when I did buy it, there was some sort of sale going on, so it was like $35 for um, the base game and outdoor retreat together. So that was pretty great. And then I waited to get to work until it went on sale, and I have Perfect Patio Stuff and Spa Day, and I got both of them on sale as well. But I love the Perfect Patio Stuff Pack. I really like a lot of the items in it. Um, I think it looks really, I don't know, like I like the style of the furniture that was included, and there's a decent amount of content for the stuff pack, which I think is really great. Um, when I built this, Get Together had not come out yet. I still do not have Get Together. I am waiting for it to go on sale before I buy it, so it'll probably be a couple months, I would guess. before I get it, although I'm hoping a little bit for a post-Christmas sale. I think because it was released on December 8th, it probably won't go on sale this month. But, you know, I can hope. I'm not like thrilled by the idea of get together. My Sims tend to be a bit antisocial in that like most of the people who they socialize with in my game are their family. I'm a big family style player. I really, really miss having toddlers in the game, and I wish there was more things for children to do with their parents and more interactions between children and their parents that are unique. Um, like, children can pretty much have the same interactions with their parents as they can have with any other adult sim. And I think there should be more, like, special interactions included. I've always liked to play this game family style. I don't really like playing as a single sim, but the current iteration of the game, um, you know, even when it was just the base game, just The Sims 4, it's really geared toward more of a singles life or maybe a group of adults. And from what I've seen so far of videos of Get Together, um, it seems to be the same case. There are more activities that children can do, but like I said, they don't seem to be unique to their families. So I don't know. I mean, I'll have to watch more videos and eventually get the game myself and figure it out. But yeah, I mean, I don't have the money also to be spending on a $40 expansion pack. So yeah, I'm still waiting on that. In this build, I'm working on the landscaping, and landscaping is one of the features in The Sims 4 that I do really like. I was terrible at landscaping in The Sims 3, but the plants and just everything you can use outdoors in this game, I think the design of it is all really good and it looks really realistic, and I mean, I enjoy doing the landscaping now. So yeah, I mean, I think that's something that um, I did spend some time on when I was first trying to learn what looks best in terms of landscaping. But now, you know, it doesn't take me that long, and I also just really enjoy doing it now. With this front facade here, you see me fidgeting with a lot of the different objects. I just felt like the front was looking really incomplete, and I wanted to add to it. I mean, looking at it now, it doesn't look bad, but when I was building it, I was very frustrated with it. So I tried a bunch of different things, and I think I went with what is currently out there. I'm not positive. But yeah, the layout of this home was also difficult to work out because it is much smaller than it originally seemed to me inside. And so I ended up with some wonky shapes, and I redid the layout of the master suite upstairs. This is the first layout, but it does change later. Not like significantly, I just expand some rooms and make other rooms smaller. But there's 3 bedrooms in this house. There's the master suite, and then there is like a teenage boys room, and then a little girls room. I really like the way the teenage boys room came out. I was pretty frustrated with the little girls room. My biggest frustration, however, was the living room, dining room area, which I am currently doing a layout for now. It does change a little bit. Um, it I had a lot of trouble working the dining table in and the like living area in a way that fit, made sense, looked good. I had to get creative. I spent a lot of time on it. I did remove a decent amount of footage of me just fiddling with things and with layout, but it still takes a pretty long time. Um, the kitchen I wanted to do by the back door, I think looking at it now, it might have made more sense to put the kitchen where the dining room ends up going, and keeping the kitchen a little bit smaller because where the kitchen is now looks like, I mean, literally just watching this now, it looks to me more like it would make sense for the dining room to go there. Um, but I mean, in the end, it does turn out fine. I do like the kitchen in this house. Uh, this is the beginning of my dining room struggles. One of the issues I also had was with the wood matching. The woods. The thing about this game is the color swatches that they give us often don't match the things that you want to put them with. And that's a little bit confusing to me because, like, when you're designing a game and you know you're not going to have a color wheel in it, which I understand because for loading times, I mean, that really it just took up way too much time to have endless amounts of textures and colors in this game. But I think, like, they should have given us color swatches where you had at least 3 color swatches for every object that would match something, and that would be more neutral. And it doesn't really work that way because, like, even if they do have a lot of things that are whites, the textures of the whites don't mesh well, or, like, the accents on it don't match. So, like, they'd have, for example, like, a white with a certain type of metal and then a white on a different object with a different type of metal, and the metals don't match. So the main color might, but the accent colors don't. So that's frustrating to me. I think it's hard to explain. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it's just a constant frustration that I have with this game. I did an interesting thing with, like, the entertainment center, like, over the fireplace. I kind of, like, built in a little, like, entertainment center. I don't know what you would call it. I'll know as soon as I'm finished recording this because I always forget what things are called while I'm recording, and remember as soon as I'm done. But yeah, I built, like, a cabinet and some shelving to build, like, a built-in unit, and I think half of it looks cool and half of it I'm not sure about. There I was, like, expanding the entrance hall because I felt like there was a lot of wasted space, and I don't like wasting space in my builds. So yeah, I did extend that, and then I kind of, like, bounced back and forth in this build, like, in terms of rooms I was working on. Normally when I build, like, I'll finish a room entirely and then move on to the next room. And in this build, especially in this, like, living, dining, kitchen area, I bounced around a lot. I changed the curtains a billion times because curtains that we currently have in the game are frustrating and not great. I was able to start using the ability to size up the rugs, which we just got in a patch like a couple of months ago, and that was very exciting for me because I've always been wanting to size up the rugs, but now that we do have that ability, like, I find that I haven't really been doing it a ton. I don't know why. I just, like, I think I got so used to the rugs not sizing up that I, like, found ways to, like, work in rugs that I like, and now I'm, like, stuck in that rut where there are rugs that I like. And I use them constantly, so yeah. I did create that little area in the kitchen that you just saw me working on, where, like, I thought it was cool as, like, an idea of, they have that little closet thing to put all their stuff that they use outdoors, like, in the backyard, and then you have that shelf for, like, keys or, like, little objects and a picture, so I do like the way that turned out. I think this is maybe where I start working on the built-in unit in the living room. Yeah, I tried so many different things here, and I didn't like any of them. The footage might jump around a little bit because I did delete a lot of it because I think it was like an hour on this unit alone when I was building. So, I mean, and like I deleted so much of it, like you don't want to see me working on it, I promise you. I watched it, it was horrible. It was not fun, like while I was living it. I was really stressed out, but yeah. Um, I also have an issue with the cabinet that I put in there, because I use the move objects on cheat and it does intersect with things. Whenever I change anything with the house, that cabinet gets deleted. So if you do download this house and you notice in your game that the upper white cabinet is missing, that's a move objects on cheat. I'm sorry about it. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Just, turn on the cheat, put it back in your game, and move it up. Or you can just leave it, like, not have it there. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I just like the way it looks to have it go up high and then have that shelf intersect. Otherwise, there's empty space there, and it bothers me. These pictures, the thing with the leaves, I do this a lot where I intersect those two paintings because I like the way the frames intersect. I think it looks cool. There's one of the times when that cabinet got deleted. I had a lot of trouble trying to decide what to put in that corner because it seemed like a space that I wanted to fill, but I was having trouble finding things that were the right size to fit in there. So yeah, that took a good amount of time. And then the chairs, I never seem to, for some reason, when I'm angling chairs, they never seem to feel to me like they're on like an angle that I like. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I struggle with it though. This bathroom was kind of fun because I mean, there's like two objects in this bathroom, but I imagined that it was like a very traditional house when the family first bought it, and then they redid parts of it but wanted to leave some of the original character. So the wallpaper in the bathroom is very traditional, but the toilet and the sink are very modern. And I just like that for some reason. I don't know, it sounds very simple and basic, but it's something that I really liked. And then this entrance hallway, I always end up using that same wallpaper, and I really should like expand, but I never like any of the other ones. I don't know why, but I did want to keep like some kinds of like traditional aspects in this home just because I felt like it was very true to the architectural style of the home. I kept the entrance hall pretty basic, just some lighting and like that little vestibule table thing, and a chair, and threw a few paintings up on the wall, because you're not really in that room very much, and Sims don't use it all the time, but I did want to create a look of like, this is fancy, whatever. This is where you see me start to build that reading nook that I was talking about. It turns out very differently than what you're seeing right now. But yeah, I like the idea of having like that little walk-in part as the reading area because it's in that little octagonal section of the home, and there's a bunch of windows on that wall, and I just thought that was like, I'm a person, I love reading, I read all the time, I don't know, like, I've always wanted to have a window seat to read in, and I've never had one, so that was kind of the inspiration to do, like, a window seat, but then it didn't work out that way, obviously, but it's still a very, like, open and airy place to read, I think, while also being, like, a cozy little nook. And then, I put some other decent office stuff in there, just a guitar and an easel to fill up space, and then obviously the computer, and that desk chair is like my dream desk chair, like the leather, like it looks very like official and dignified, but it also looks really comfortable. I've always wanted to have one of those chairs. So it's kind of exciting to me that they do have it in The Sims because I can like sort of fake like have my own one of those chairs a little bit. And yeah, I put a little stack of books in, like someone just left a bunch of books on the floor because I'm a little bit of a messy person and I leave things out, and I leave like things like books out when I'm reading and stuff. So I mean, I didn't want it to be completely tidy and neat. I don't know, I wanted to make it look lived in. And then I had those little file folders from Get to Work on the wall. This is where I start to play with the upstairs layout a bit, because I started to realize that everything I wanted to fit in the master bathroom wouldn't fit the way I had the layout, because I wanted to put a soaker tub in that octagonal section, and then I realized I wouldn't have room for a sink and toilet and shower. I still end up in the final version, there's not room for a shower. Everything else kind of fits in there. I like half of the room. I like the soaker tub part. I don't really like the sink and toilet part, but I mean, it's a bathroom. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's a concept I'm trying to adopt in my life in general, the it doesn't have to be perfect concept. It's a little bit hard for me to come to terms with. But yeah, I mean, it's something, yeah, I think everyone who's a perfectionist knows it's always a thing that we need to try and embrace, that everything doesn't have to be perfect. The beds in this game are starting to really get to me. I really would like more beds. From the video that I've seen of Get Together, there aren't really like new beds in that, which is annoying, but it also makes me believe that maybe in an upcoming stuff pack they'll come up with like a bedroom based one. Hopefully, because I'm really getting bored of the bed options in the game. And the thing with the beds in the game is they're all very specific styles. The only one that I think could fit into a lot of them is the one bed that's like uncomfortable. So you never want to put it in your home because it's uncomfortable and your Sims get crabby when they sleep in it. So that's frustrating to me. I don't play with like cheats or mods because they tend to a lot of not mods, a lot of custom content I feel doesn't look true to the game. The other thing is, once you start down the custom content wormhole, you start to get a ton of it, and then inevitably you end up with something that's buggy and causes problems in your game, but you don't know what it is, so you have to delete all your custom content, but you've grown attached to your custom content and feel like you can't function without it because like you love all the items you've gotten. And so I just like don't want to start with that. Like I feel like once I start with custom content, I'd never be able to stop, and then I'd end up with problems and I'd get stressed out. And so my theory on it, at least at the moment, is just don't play with it. I didn't have any in The Sims 3 because you could customize the game so much. You could customize every object that I didn't feel like I needed it. I do in The Sims 4 feel like I need it, but I mean, I had so many issues in The Sims 2 with it that I don't even want to get into it. I'm sure it's probably slightly better, and there are ways to organize it now that we're in The Sims 4, but I just don't want to get started. So yeah, that means I'm stuck with like the same beds, and I can't get a mod for the uncomfortable bed to make it so it doesn't make my Sims annoyed all the time. But that's a price I'm willing to pay for the sake of more overall sanity. This is the teenage boys room. I like the way this room turned out a lot. It's not very matchy-matchy, which I think is very true to kids' rooms, because as the children like grow in real life, they start to acquire different stuff at different ages. So by the time they're a teenager, it's very rare, unless they completely redo their room and have the money to totally redo their room. It's very rare that all of their furniture matches. Plus, at least in my family, like, you don't spend a lot of money on kids stuff because they grow out of it really quickly, and it's kind of a waste of money. So, I mean, my bedroom still has a lot of stuff that doesn't match. But yeah, I like this room. It's small, and I kind of like to have the bedrooms in my homes be small because your Sims don't really spend a lot of time in their bedrooms, I find. And I just like the idea of a cozy bedroom. So I just kind of gave them a desk and some posters and wardrobe and like some of those ribbons as like sports ribbon. That's what I was thinking of it as. I did use the science light. I really like those. In one of the recent patches, it made it so you don't have to use the ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement cheat when you're in build mode, which is great because I'm just kind of lazy, so I would like not remember to enter that cheat when I'd put the move objects on one in, and then I'd be in like build or buy mode and I'd be like, whatever, I'm just not going to use that cheat, so I just won't use those objects. But now that they're like readily available and you don't have to bother with the cheat when you're in the build mode, I've been using those objects a lot in my builds. So yeah, I mean, I really do love that science light. I think it's perfect for a kid's room. This room, this is the little girl's room. It took me a long time. Like as I was saying before, a lot of the furniture doesn't match, but it doesn't match in a way that bothered me. Like if you look at the style of the bed and the style of the dresser, they're very different. And obviously I could have used a different dresser, but I didn't want to. And so yeah, the curtains, I couldn't get the shade for the curtains that I wanted, but I stuck with that kind of like beige color, that whatever. And I mean, I guess in the end it turns out to be like a fun little girl's room, but yeah, it's not my favorite. This is the kids' bathroom, and this is very like utilitarian. Um, it's very like white and basic and not a lot done to it, which I think is kind of true of a lot of kids' bathrooms where like parents don't spend a whole lot of time trying to make them nice unless it's a bathroom that kids share with guests because I mean kids are messy, they kind of trash things, and as I said, they grow quickly, so they grow out of what they like pretty quickly. And you just, I mean, my parents at least didn't spend a lot of time on the bathroom I shared with my brothers growing up. It was the least nice bathroom in the house, but it worked. And so this one in this home is the same thing. It's the least nice bathroom in the house, in my opinion. But yeah, I think, oh no, I was fiddling with the master bedroom again. Master bedroom just really frustrated me. I had a lot of issues with it. I'm not obsessed with this master bedroom. It's not my favorite one I've done. Hopefully in my next build, which is a Christmas-themed build that I've been working on, hopefully I like the master bedroom in that home better. Assume I will. Just working on the patio, I included some of the objects from the Perfect Patio set, which I really like. I do like the new outdoor tables that came with it. It's a little bit surprising to me that they only included one grill, but like, they already have plenty of grill options in the game anyway, so I guess it's fine. I love these couches, these little wicker couches. I constantly use them, and the ottoman that came with it. I love them. I think I've used it in every single one of my builds since I got the pack. I like all the colors, I like all the versions of it. I love that couch. So yeah, that was a fave. And then I was just kind of filling up space with some objects that I thought just kind of made it look a little more complete. I think the hot tub area is not really the nicest. I do think I put some of those like candle lights, the wall of candle lights in there. So I think it does in the end look a little better than that, but not much. And then I just included some of the front porch objects, and I think we're moving to the screenshots pretty shortly because I didn't really do anything else with this house that I can remember. So yeah, I mean, here are the screenshots. Anyway, I hope you like the speed build. I hope to be back with more speed builds more frequently. I hope people will be interested in them, given that they're not going to have get-together, because I can't afford it right now. But yeah, I'm happy to be back on YouTube. Please make sure to check out Hattie Sims Builds. Again, this is not like a promotion. I don't know her, she doesn't know me. I just really felt inspired by them, and I think that they're really cool. And I think that, like, you guys, I mean, it'd be interesting to me to find out whether, like, this house and this style reminds anyone else of her builds, because it was definitely inspired by them, but it's not the same as hers are. So anyway, please like this video, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe below, and I will be back with another build soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.